What's an underrated piece of life advice that's actually helped you a lot?
Stop listening to respond and instead listen to understand. I'm a much better conversationalist now.
That's such a great one. When you really listen to understand, it changes the whole conversation. It helps you connect on a deeper level and makes the other person feel heard and valued. It's definitely a game changer.
In a similar vein, seek to understand instead of seeking to be understood.
Never take criticism from someone you wouldn't go to for advice.
And here said criticism with a large grain of salt. One person's opinions are much different for the next. Really easy to take to heart mean or rude comments, but I promise you the person right next to them and anyone else could have the complete opposite opinion.
To add on to that, never take advice from someone who you wouldn't swap lives with.
Honestly, learning to say no without explaining saves so much energy.
No is a complete sentence.
Yes!
You're getting close. Keep working at it.
Take breaks. Rest is essential for long-term productivity and clarity.
My productivity is up, but man, the clarity is slacking.
Time for that post-nut clarity then. Oh wait, it's November. Sorry man, I guess you have to wait a month.
Even when we work hard and team up and do everything right, we still lose. Sometimes we accidentally win when we weren't even looking to. Life isn't fair, there will be punches, roll with them. Once it is said to the next person, it has become public.
It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Jean-Luc Picard.
Don't care about what people think of you, because you can't please everyone. Just be yourself and strive to be the better version of you.
Unless they're paying your bills, pay them no mind.
Take things one day at a time has helped me manage stress and stay grounded.
This one is so important. People sometimes feel like the whole world is hitting them in the face all at once, but we only live in this very second. So just live in this second. Make decisions based on right now, not 5 years from now. Some people can plan ahead, others just need to take things slowly. Nothing wrong with that.
Yep, also, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Don't take things personally. Most people's actions are about them, not you.
It's better to do it than to live with the fear of it. Helps me get things over and done with, rather than procrastinate and get anxious about it.
No one who is great at something was always great at it.
Mine was, if it doesn't matter in 5 years, don't let it matter more than 5 minutes. It has saved me a lot of fights with my spouse. It reminds me to see the big picture, remember the good things about spouse and letting go of the small things that annoy.
Failing at something is the first step towards being kinda good at something.
My mum would always say, why put to tomorrow what you can do today, regarding homework. At the time I shrugged it off, but as an adult with a bunch of responsibilities, I repeat that line to myself often, and it really helps with procrastination.
My friend asked me how I wasn't lazy. I said, I am lazy. I do everything first so I can be lazy later.
Observe, don't absorb.
I'm still learning this in therapy, slowly but surely.
Loving yourself also means telling yourself the stuff you sometimes don't want to hear. Basically means that we sometimes ignore the things about ourselves that we actually need to improve. We have to stop looking away from them and work on those things.
2 steps forward and 1 step back is still a step forward overall.
You are not dead yet. It may sound a bit rude and cold, but whenever I'm falling, this helps me get up.
My mother says this all the time. It pulled me out of some dark times in my life. I am chronically ill. After you're not dead yet, she will say, pull your head out of your arse and start living.
Sometimes a rude awakening is needed.
Let whoever, do whatever they want. Because one way or another, everyone is going to do whatever they want. Because humans are selfish creatures. So don't waste your energy trying to persuade someone away from whatever it is. Save your energy and let them go ruin their lives. If someone wants to leave, let them. It's their loss.
People don't always want advice when talking about a situation. Sometimes just keep it to yourself.
Pay attention to someone's actions and see if it matches their words consistently.
Look at the means which a man employs. Consider his motives. Observe his pleasures. A man simply cannot conceal himself.
Focus on progress, not perfection.
If you are always the better person, find better people to be around.
People don't always remember what you say, but they do always remember how you make them feel.
Live below your means.
Please explain.
Live on less than you make, if possible. This will enable you to save money and not be overextended financially. Don't try to keep up with your neighbors' or family's lifestyles. When tough times come, you will already be prepared.
In life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. This has helped me countless times, particularly when negotiating my salary on a new job.
When you have a baby, toddler put everything where you can't reach it. Served me well.
Also be aware determined toddlers can and will climb to reach things, so consider that.
Never underestimate the power of saying no. It's not just a rejection, it's an embrace of your own boundaries. Every time I held my ground, I didn't just decline a request, I chose myself. Life became clearer, quieter, more authentic. Sometimes simplicity is the real luxury.
Think again. Even if you think you know the answer, think again. You may come up with the same answer as before, but never stop thinking.
Nothing good happens after midnight, Grandad. Now, one could argue that yes, there are indeed good things and experiences that can happen in the early hours of the morning. But for 98% of us punters out and about, all you're looking to achieve is a lack of sleep. Throwing cash away, bar lockouts, emotions, arguments, and assaults.
The general case of this is, don't go to stupid places with stupid people and stupid times to do stupid things. I think firearms/self-defense trainer John Farnham popularized it.
Silence is the best answer to a fool and argumentative.
Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt. It was my mantra to my students when I was teaching US history, and now I think about it daily to feel a stronger sense of self.
Negative reactions breed more frequent negative results. Simplified. Be kind to people even when they accidentally fuck up. Being an asshole will only make it worse.
2-minute rule. If you suddenly remember some small task that won't take very long to do, just do it right then if you can.
Note, may not apply to people with ADH.
Everybody has a first day at something. Nobody is instantly a master of a skill. You'll never get good if you never get started.
Keep things simple. Don't overcomplicate. You don't need to be a minimalist and live in a tiny house with no possessions whatsoever, although I do admire that. But when you keep it closer to things you need rather than want, I feel it makes life a lot easier to live and there's less to worry about.
Protect yourself from expecting people to show you the same kindness you show them. Just a variation of the don't set yourself on fire trying to keep others warm.
Do things the right way so that they can never take it from you. This applies to cutting corners to already established rules, like car insurance, car registration, and etc. I tend to cut corners and have a habit of being cheap, and it has costed me a lot of money and time to make things right.
Stop comparing your life to others and focus on your own journey. Finding your own happiness and staying true to who you are more important than keeping up with the Joneses.
Slow down. Most great things in your life take planning and time. They do not or very rarely happen overnight. That's okay. Patience truly is a virtue.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Yes. Also, you can feel different ways about certain things. Mixed emotions are okay.
Asking to yourself, are you listening? Or you are just waiting your turn to speak? That has helped me to be more involved in the conversation. Also, you can ask that about the person that you are speaking to. Realize if they are really interested in you or not.
In a year's time, you'll wish you'd started today. Blew my mind when a counselor told me that during a difficult period of life.
No one gives a shit about you or your imaginary mistake as much as you do. They are thinking about themselves. Move on.
Sometimes in life, you deserve to have it be about you. Don't risk your own happiness in the service of pleasing others. There's no reason to feel bad about taking a day off from negative people to make the day about what makes you happy. It's like how airplanes tell you to put your own oxygen mask on first before helping those next to you. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others.
When crossing a street, make eye contact with approaching drivers. If you don't see their eyes, they don't see you. So many pedestrians these days are only looking down at their phones. I can't count the number of near accidents and actual accidents I've witnessed.
I have 3 mantras which I borrowed from various sources that address my biggest pitfalls. Slow is steady, steady is fast. Keep it simple, stupid, and the only thing standing between you and success is the fear of failure.
Anything you're not actively changing is a choice.
For my fellow depressed, self-depreciating humor can tend to form the basis for your humor as a sort of defense mechanism. But the brain is stupid. If it hears something enough times, it can believe it. Even if it's something shitty you say about yourself. Try self-appreciating humor. Make jokes about how awesome and great you are instead of how shitty you are. They're still jokes, but over time it can shift your confidence a bit. Just every time you'd say something shitty about yourself, stop and swap it with something ridiculous but self-aggrandizing.
Those who matter don't mind, those who mind don't matter. I live by this daily.
You can only control your ability to do the next right thing. I'm someone who overthinks every little mistake I make, so this helped me a lot. It's important to learn from past mistakes, but there's no point in being stuck thinking about them. No amount of overthinking can change what already happened. All we can change is whether or not we do the right thing next time with the knowledge we have now.
You can't push a wheelbarrow with no wheel on it. In life, you need to take breaks to work at your best. In work, if somebody doesn't want to do work at all, nothing you do will change it.
Stop and smell the roses. We'll all be dead one day. Take it easy to pause and enjoy small things.
To forgive is to understand. Understanding doesn't mean you condone what the person has done, but simply that you can understand why they did it and understand that if you were that person, with that brain and that past, you would have done the same thing.
You can only control your ability to do the next right thing. I'm someone who overthinks every little mistake I make, so this helped me a lot. It's important to learn from past mistakes, but there's no point in being stuck thinking about them. No amount of overthinking can change what already happened. All we can change is whether or not we do the right thing next time with the knowledge we have now.
You can't push a wheelbarrow with no wheel on it. In life, you need to take breaks to work at your best. In work, if somebody doesn't want to do work at all, nothing you do will change it.
Stop and smell the roses. We'll all be dead one day. Take it easy to pause and enjoy small things.
To forgive is to understand. Understanding doesn't mean you condone what the person has done, but simply that you can understand why they did it and understand that if you were that person, with that brain and that past, you would have done the same thing.
From what state am I acting right now? It helps me tune into myself and identify if I'm angry, unsettled, impatient, and recognize that I'm not making decisions from a place of clarity.
Generally, when things go wrong, at least a portion is your fault. You didn't dig deep enough, or you let emotions control you, or you trusted the wrong people. All that is a personal failure too. Always think of how you can improve going forward.
If a problem can be solved with money, it's not a problem.
Not directly an advice, but a fact. The human brain is not designed to feel joy and happiness constantly. Those feelings are more of a reward and supposed to be fleeting. So you work hard on your survival and general life conditions to feel them again. It takes the pressure off of trying to be happy all the time, something that our society often frames like the ultimate goal. When you know that the brain isn't supposed to be happy all the time, It really shows you that feeling okay, or even not great, often doesn't mean you have a bad life. I'm not talking about depression or other serious mental conditions, of course.
I said it was simple, not easy. Really gave me some perspective watching Lego ninjas and their sensei drop the hardest wisdom from a kid's show.
You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that portion. Listen twice as much as you speak.
Life is open book. I was amazed by my college professor's open book exams when my dad dropped this on me. You don't have to have things memorized. You can, in fact, look things up, all kinds of things. You often don't need to know the answers ahead of time as long as you have an idea of where to start looking for them.
On to the next thing. My dad said this to me when I was venting to him about possibly losing my job and really worried about what was going to happen. Professionally, whether I'd find something as good and what have you. Oh well, if you do lose it, on to the next thing. I was expecting him to be worried on my behalf, but he wasn't. Go with the flow and all that. It really reduced my stress about the situation and stuck with me regarding all future stressful situations.
The best time to plant a tree is 100 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is right now.
Life isn't about waiting for the storm to end. It is about learning to dance in the rain. I think about that often.
You have no idea what's going on in somebody else's life. Be kind. You never know if what you say about someone could push them over the edge.
Be the sunshine in someone else's rainy day.
Imagine you lived your whole life and on your deathbed got the chance to relive your life at insert current age. Now go live the life you want.